Hi, hello. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. I've got my tea and I'm ready to have
Cheers.
a good night. So,
Well, thank you so much. Yeah, cheers. Episode 10 of Cuppa and Natter. I don't know where the time's gone, but honestly, it's an absolute privilege to be in your presence. Honestly, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it.
oh no, lovely. Like, yeah, it's something really nice to do, and especially in this period of time. And it's always nice to chat to fellow sports people and have a good chat and a nice tea at this time and stuff. So, thank you for having me and asking.
Absolutely. No, not at all. Thank you very much. Well, without further ado, I honestly think I'm in the presence of one of the most recognised, successful sportswomen in of my lifetime. Okay, and I mean your achievements speak for themselves. But you started swimming aged 5, and you started competing against able-bodied swimmers at the age of 8. Now, fast forward a few years to the age of 12, you were the youngest ever British swimmer to represent the country at the 2006 World Championships. And then from then, you've gone from strength to strength. You've competed at 3 Paralympic Games, winning 5 gold medals across 4 different events. You've become 10-time world champion. You've set British records, world records, everything along the way. It is honestly, your achievements are incredible. And I'm in awe just being in your presence now. So thank you so,
Oh,
so much for joining me.
oh no, that's so lovely. Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, like it's crazy to like. I think, as you know, when you're in the sport, you don't really look back at your past achievements. Yeah, like it's sometimes nice to like I'm at my parents' house now with lockdown. Like I live in London, but coming home and like see, I had to like sort out of my boxes of like past games and past championships and stuff. And you realize, I think, moments like that. That's when you realize how many like games I've been to or like things that I've done. But normally, when you're doing this, your sport day to day, you don't really think about like things, do you? Really?
I mean, you've done phenomenally well. I think it's fair to
Oh,
say in your athletic career so far. And I hope you don't mind me sharing this story with you. When I actually asked Ellie about her number of world championship titles she'd won, even Ellie Simmonds loses track of how many she's won. So I think that's fair to say how successful you've been.
oh,
Um, but anyway, without further ado, okay, I'd kind of like to kick things off with asking you the question that everyone wants to know about you is how do you like your tea? Okay, so I'm going to do this by asking you 5 quick fire questions, if that's all right.
oh, I love the
Okay.
quick fire.
Yeah, you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
Ready.
Breakfast tea or herbal tea?
Breakfast tea, but it depends. Yeah, breakfast tea like in the morning, but herbal tea in the afternoon.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so it depends on time of day. All right.
Yeah, breakfast
Um,
tea in the
tea bag or loose tea leaves?
tea bag.
Milk first or milk last?
Milk last. Like I don't know who puts their milk first. It's like
Believe some people do. I remember having this conversation with Alex Danson Bennett on episode 1, and we nearly fell out about her answer. Say no more.
oh gosh, like I don't know how. Like you would put the tea bag in, like some sugar or whatever you want, and then put hot water and then the milk. Like I don't know who puts it in milk
No.
and then sugar and then yeah, not right. I
Yeah,
totally
I'm with you. I completely agree. Okay, question number 4. Digestive or a hobnob?
digestives.
Okay.
Yeah. Is it
Question
just
number 5. Go on, sorry.
plain digestives?
Digestive. Does that make a difference?
Yeah, no, yeah, plain digestives. Love them. Love them. I love a good biscuit.
Yeah. Are you one of those people that, I mean, I'm speaking for myself here. I really struggle to contain just, 1 biscuit or 2 biscuits. I will go for the full packet.
Oh yeah, gosh, you've
Yeah.
got to like. I cannot like restrict myself to just one or two. They're just too moreish. But that's the
I hear
same with
you.
like say you have a massive bar of chocolate, you can't just have one piece. Like I know some people that have like one piece a night. Like that is a no no. Like you have to have
I
the whole.
that I think we'd struggle being in each other's presence because I'm exactly the same. I would not be able to, you know, leave a little bit of chocolate for you. If I open a chocolate, it's all gone and it's all mine. So
Oh yeah, I'm the same. Like I can't. I can share like starter and main. Also, like when it comes to dessert, I cannot
yeah,
share my dessert.
I hear
Like
you. Okay.
things,
Well, that
they're just
answers. And I've got one more question.
yeah.
Okay. Cream or jam first on a scone?
A cream first.
Cream first. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we learned a lot.
Yeah, like cream and then jam because it's like your cream is like your butter, really, isn't it? So like you you put your cream on and then you add your jam onto it,
Yeah. It's like a triangle, isn't it? It goes up, the big layer of jam on top.
and then you put it
Oh,
in your.
oh, it's making me hungry just thinking about it. But,
I could
okay,
talk all
we
day.
found how Ellie Simmonds likes her tea. She likes some digestive biscuits with it. Absolutely fine. Well, interesting. Interesting. Okay. If you don't mind, I've got plenty of questions to ask you, but my first question of the three. So I pre-warned you that I asked all of my guests on Cuppa and Natter 3 questions. So my
Yeah.
first question comes from Monday's Cuppa and Natter guest, Lioness, England football legend Karen Bardsley. Now,
Mm.
Karen said that she enjoys learning off of other athletes and their journeys and whether they've had any like what if moments. And she wants to know from yourself, what is the biggest regret that you've had in your career to date? And would you change or do anything differently?
I think this is a super tough question.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to like think what do you regret because even the good and the bad you learn from it.
Mm.
Um, what regrets? This is tricky. I think like I had a bit of a year out after Rio 2016 and went traveling for a year. I don't regret that. Like it was the most amazing time, but it was a lot harder to get back into the sport and get back fully fit. Um,
Mm.
than I thought it was gonna be. I thought I would like yeah, swimming is natural, it's like riding a bike, but it's crazy how much fitness you actually lose. So I
Yeah.
don't know if I regret that year because I learned a lot about myself as an individual, but in regards to sports it was a lot tougher to get back into the water and to get back fully fit. Like it's probably not till January this year that I've actually got back to my like I was before Rio 2016, and that's what 3.5, 4 years later. So I'd say that was one of my little regrets. But to be honest, yeah, what I learned from it is that sport and swimming is hard. Like it's tough. You
Yeah.
need everything you've got. You need sometimes to make not no sacrifices, but it helped me as a person and to realize that I quite like swimming too.
Yeah. To be fair, when Karen asked the question, I struggled thinking of how I'd answer that question because I always think you make your decisions at that moment because you think it's the right thing to do. So you taking that year out after Rio was the right thing to do at that stage, but probably gave you a little bit of appreciation and a step back to actually realise what it does take to be at the top of your sport, which you've spent years doing. And really, really interesting. Do you think that break after Rio has kind of changed your mindset when it comes to swimming?
Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely.
Yeah.
I think like what you're saying, it's the path that you take, you learn and you from it as in your sport and as yourself as an individual. And I think for me, in my year off, I learned a lot about myself and realizing like I think like I was in a pretty like I hated sport. I hated the sport. I hated swimming during Rio 2016, and I think having that year off, it really helped like just like realize that I love swimming and I love sport. I think it gave me a bigger perspective on life.
It's fascinating, really, because you kind of see that now, don't you? In the current situation that we're all in now, you hear so many athletes that are struggling because we train really hard every day, competing in terms of with the aims and objectives of whether it be an Olympic Games or Paralympic Games. And kind of for that to be taken away, you kind of realise that how lucky you are to do what you do and the love that you have for your sport. So it's really, really interesting what you're saying. And I guess that kind of, leads nicely into my next question, because as you said, you kind of had that love for swimming from such a young age, and you've been hugely successful in your career to date. So in terms of, in 2008, you were the youngest member of Team GB. You were the second youngest Paralympian in British history to win an Olympic medal of any colour. Not to mention that you actually won 2 golds in that games. You were the poster girl in 2012, I think that's fair to say, and again lived up to expectations, coming away with 2 golds, 1 silver, 1 bronze. And then in 2016, you added 2 more medals to your already impressive trophy cabinet. So I guess I want to know, in terms of, your rise to the top of your sport and achieving so much at such a young age, how have you been able to cope with that pressure that comes with it?
I think, to be honest with you, like, I look back now, like, I think with all the pressure that I had, I was very lucky that it was at a young age. I think when you're 30, like I was 13 going into Beijing, 17 going into London, and I look back, and as a 25-year-old now, I'm like, how did I actually cope with that pressure? Because it was a lot, and especially at home games, like, not just me, but the likes of Jess and Mo, all the home competing athletes. We had a home games. It's one of the biggest sporting events in our career for representing Great Britain. I look back and I don't know how I cope with it, but I think being 13 and then 17, being so young, you don't really take all that into perspective, really. And I'm very lucky that I had a really great support system around me. I think you see us going out there and racing on our own, but you've got the support system. You've got my teammates, my coach Billy Pye, my good friends, my parents, all supporting me. I think they really help, like, take the pressure off you. But also as an athlete, like, I don't know how you feel, but like, when you go out and compete in your team, like, do you get nervous? Because I get nervous, but it's the times when I don't get nervous, I actually worry, because when I'm nervous, when I've got pressure on me, I thrive off it. And I'm very lucky that my personality, that I thrive off it. Thrive, is that even English? Thrive. I thrive off it. So it actually, like, I want to go out there and I want to show the world what I'm made of. So it's like my adrenaline, like me wanting to go out there and give everything I've got. And it's an addiction. I know that sounds strange, but like, I love when you out there and you get nervous. Yeah, I hate the nerves beforehand, but when I'm standing on that block and I finish my race and I look back and it's a good time, or it's a medal position that you want, it's a high. It's an addiction, and I live for that. Like, it's such a good feeling, not just in competition but in training as well. Like, when you have amazing sets and you've pushed your body to the limit and you feel great afterwards, it feels like you can conquer Mount Everest in a way. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's such a good feeling. And I think I'm very lucky that I have been able to cope with that pressure. Yeah, some days it gets to me, like, it's not all easy. Like, sport is tough. You've got to give your life to it. You've got to sacrifice a lot of things, but the things that we get out of it is pretty amazing too.
I think it's really interesting what you say. So, bearing in mind we're the same age, and all the stuff that you've achieved in your career today, I mean, it well and truly puts me to shame. But thinking back at the age of 17, to have the hopes of the nation and that pressure of a home Olympic Games, to be able to then use that pressure and use it, the adrenaline, like you've just said, to come away with the medals that you did. I mean, I don't know whether you've seen, but on the BBC Sport, you've been nominated for the greatest moment of any Sportswomen that's been released today from 2012. And I mean, it's up there for me. But it's really interesting. So in terms of, do you have anything that you use, whether it be in training or competition, to try and, as you said, use the nerves and the pressure and turn that into adrenaline and have a positive impact on your performance?
There's nothing I use, to be honest. No. Like, what use? Like, you mean, like, do I listen to music? Do I like
Yeah,
mindfulness is that what you
yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
there's nothing specific I use. Like I know before a race, like I do listen to music. I like talking. I like speaking to my coach beforehand. That always helps me. Just and also like your mind, like knowing that you've trained all this time. Like for a swimmer, you train 9 times a week. You do 2 to 3 gym sessions. Plus, like I love yoga. I've started doing yoga this past
Love
year
it.
and a half, and I find helps with mind, like your mind and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think it's having the confidence in yourself and the self-belief. I think that's a big thing. Like if you believe you can do it, then you're on a winner anyway. Like yeah, there might be athletes out there that are like that are stronger than you, but if you believe that you can do it, that's that's all you need really.
I feel like that's a mic drop moment in itself, really, because it kind of leads quite nicely again onto my next question. In that, I'm a huge advocate for inclusivity and diversity within sport. And within my sport of hockey, there's a fantastic initiative called Flyers Hockey, which aims to inspire people of a disability to pick up a hockey stick and enjoy the sport. Now, as you were saying, in terms of self belief and having that self belief within yourself, I feel like it's fair to say you have inspired so many people within society, both abled and disabled people, and you've proven that disability has no barriers. And if you have that self-belief in yourself, you know, the sky's the limit. So can I ask, this is quite a hard one, but can I ask for one piece of advice that you would give anyone that is maybe, suffering from self-belief, self-confidence, and maybe don't necessarily feel like they're able to compete in sport?
I think my first advice would be especially sport. If you want to get in sport, you've got to find a sport that you enjoy. Like there's so many sports out there to do, and like maybe the sport that you're doing at the moment isn't the sport for you. For me, like I don't enjoy running, like I find it tough. um
Yeah, me.
but it's finding that sport that you excel at and that you're good at. And I think once that clicks, then your self-confidence will come naturally as well. And it's about having fun as well. Like sport, it's not a thing that you've got to wake up, set your alarm 6 o'clock in the morning for, and do an hour before work or before your life starts. Like find a thing that motivates you and that you enjoy going to, because like there's Zumba classes, there's dance classes, that's exercise, that's sport, and that's fun at the same time, you know what I mean? And it's great going with friends, and I think things like that's when your self-confidence and your belief that you can do anything, that really helps. Like I don't know about you, but like some days you have sessions where you're like, oh, I can't be bothered to do, like I can't be bothered to do any of this, but then once you do it, you actually feel great for accomplishing it, and like you feel really good afterwards. So it's about like just looking at the little things. And sport, like there's so many different sports out there, like even the crazy ones, like well not crazy but like underwater hockey or bog snorkeling. Like I
Yeah.
would never think of doing anything like that, but like the people love it, and that's so good to see.
I think that's kind of the beauty of sport, isn't it? I mean, I play sport for the enjoyment of it and the people around me and things like that. But especially in terms of yourself as a Paralympian, as an icon within para sport, I think it's huge for role models such as yourself to be out there and be shouting about how brilliant sport is, and that whether you have a disability or not, there are no barriers to
Oh,
sport. And yeah.
there isn't at all. Like, and I think that's great what the Paralympics are doing. And even things like Strictly as well. Like it's like having like Will Bailey, Lauren Steadman, Johnny Peacock, like average like primetime TV, having disabled athletes on prime things. This is amazing for the sport, and even for where I've come from, like from Beijing 2008 to see where it is now. Like Paralympic sport has grown tremendously, and I think that's really good to see, because it's inspiring kids out there that who are different. Like we're all not the same, you know. Like even you, like able-bodied guys, you're all different in your own rights. You all have, like, some people who are tall are great for basketball, some who are smaller are great for gymnastics, and it's about showing like everyone there's a sport out there for anyone, no matter who you are, and especially disabled athletes. Like
Yeah.
there's a sport for any of you guys, and I think it's great now that coaches, sports teams are getting including disability people in their clubs and teams, because that's the most important thing. If you can get the kids and the coaches involved and the inclusivity there, that grows disabled sport as well, and the awareness as well. I think it's great to see that like Channel 4, Sainsbury's, all those big companies supporting Paralympic sport. And yeah, it's great to see that. Like that helps in general too.
I couldn't agree
What
more. I think that
oh,
from my perspective, I always think, you know, the Olympics, Paralympics, they're equal. They're equally fantastic. They're phenomenal. And it's kind of like what you said in terms of the role models. Like I always think you can't be what you can't see. And being able to see people like yourself, people like Will Bayliss and Lauren Steadman on Strictly, or, you know, having Channel 4 with their fantastic coverage, I think, you know, parasport, there's a lot to celebrate about it. And you know, yourself, you know, has done so much for raising the awareness and, you know, and appreciating it within society. So single-handedly, I think you've changed that perception and given a lot of confidence to many people. So cheers to you, I must admit.
thank you. Drink in long time. I'm not a fan. Like hot, do you know when like black or herbal tea is hot and like you burn your mouth? So I like it to
Yeah.
cool minutes before I drink it, because I hate hot food or hot drink. Like hot food's nice, I mean, but you know when it's like scorcher and you like burn your mouth, it's not nice.
So, are you lukewarm drinker then? Is
Yeah,
this
I
what
would
we're
say, yeah. But my coffee has to be hot. Like
Yeah.
I love it in the morning, and that has to be hot. But like my other drinks, I would say lukewarm.
This is interesting. See, we're finding out so much. I mean, I always think probably hot coffee is a good sign, because you don't want to be bouncing off the walls, right? But
Mm.
I always have this argument with my mum, because she always pours herself a cup of tea and then leaves it on the side for about 15 minutes, and it is literally colder than lukewarm. So I'm like, what are you
Oh,
doing? Yeah,
yeah, no,
but
not good. You can
no.
just have like iced tea if that's the case, then, can't you?
I know. I mean, it baffles me. But I mean, I'll be careful with what I say if you like a lukewarm tea. So I won't say any more. But
Uh,
anyway, hope you don't
oh,
mind. I have got
oh,
a lot of social media questions for you.
yeah.
And yeah, there's some good ones. So without further ado, a question from Alex on Instagram. You have been an inspiration to so many people throughout your career. They obviously knew what I was going to be talking about just then. But who was your biggest inspiration in sport growing up, and why?
So my who I got inspired by was a lady called Nyree Lewis. She was a
Right.
Paralympics, and I actually in my category, so S6 category, so for disability sport or Paralympic swimming, you have this categories. So you've got S1 and most severe disability to S10 least severe, and I'm put in the S6 category, and Nyree Lewis was in the S6 category too. And I remember as a kid, as a 9-year-old sitting on the sofa watching Athens 2004. I think I saw Kelly Holmes in the Olympics, but then watching Nyree Lewis get her gold medal at the Paralympics, that's what inspired me. Like I sat on the sofa and was like to my parents, oh, like how old do you have to go to the Paralympics? Like what do you have to do? Like I was just so in awe, and my family were like, oh, you just have to be really good, like you can be any age. And I think as a kid, that's when it clicked, you know, that I wanted to go to a Paralympics, and she was my inspiration. And like as an older athlete now, like there's no individuals that I'm inspired by, but I think it's the whole every athlete inspires me. They've all got a journey. They've all got a journey to what they've achieved. If they're an Olympian, Paralympian, if they're Wimbledon champion, and I think it's just when someone has a dream and you see the journey that they go towards to achieve it, I think that's an amazing thing. And it's, you want to hear their stories. Like, I love when I go to like sports events or awards nights and you hear the journeys of athletes and it feels like you're part of it then. And I think that's what inspires me. Like, and I just love the summer of Olympics and Paralympics, like just watching it, like having the Paralympics after the Olympics. Like, I love like seeing Team GB smash it. Like, GB hockey girl Rio actually absolutely smashed it, which is absolutely incredible watching that. But I just like things like that. That's what inspires me. Like them, seeing them smash it. Like, it's just absolutely amazing, and it's like them meeting them all you guys afterwards. It's lovely. Like, and it's just, I think every athlete has a story, and it's lovely to hear.
Yeah, I mean, as Alex said, you're speaking of all the athletes that have helped to inspire you, but I mean, boy, oh boy, there's thousands, millions of people that you have been able to be their inspiration in sports. So yeah, props to you. So Emma on Instagram, this is a good one. So during major competitions, how do you switch off from swimming and the pressure that comes with competing?
So at major competitions, we're really lucky that we've got great teams. Like in the past, in London 2012, and like yeah, Beijing and London and Rio as well. Like in the flats or in your apartment or in your like in your teammates, like your teammates make it fun. So when you come back and you've done your race, like you have banter, you have fun. Like we used to do lots of like dub smashes and like dancing. We used to do quiz nights, like we're really lucky that actually like that it makes it fun going like hanging with them and being part of the team. Like that's what you do to like get away from like your actual racing. Like it's the moments like that, like the nights after and a Paralympics or the parties after. Like that's the way in which you get away and you can take your sport to one side and chill out. And also like the likes of like I love reading. Like I read every night. Like and watching Netflix or watching TV. Like just being like doing normal things to get away from your sport, because it is hard. Like for us, like I'm sure with you, like you have a match, like whatever that does, you have to get ready for another match. Like the same with swimming, you swim in the heats, you try to progress into the final, you have to, otherwise you don't get away. You need that mental break. Yeah, like otherwise just having your like thinking about your heat the morning before, like the morning of your heat, not like giving your mind time to process it and then get ready for the final. If you're dwelling on the performance, like it's not good. So you need little things to take yourself away. And I think like it varies each day. Like some days you might want to hang around with your teammates or be with your coaches or whoever, but then some days you want your own space. And I think that's just human being. You know what works for you, what doesn't.
I mean, it sounds like you have it all down to a T. You don't have any problems being able to switch off during competitions. I've heard that there's rumours.
Like,
go on, sorry.
There's still hard times, like when it's hard to get away from it all, or like you can't sleep because you're thinking of the race, or little things like that, or just even like general life, like when you're at home, there's hard times where it's hard to get away from a training set, or if it's not gone well, if it's gone well, like that's your mind. Like your mind is one of the hardest things as an athlete to switch off.
Yeah. Well, no, when I saw Emma's question, I was actually really intrigued as what you were going to say, because speaking personally, I do struggle to switch off, especially when we play the later games in the day. It is hard to be able to, switch that switch in your head and be able to switch off. But anyway, I hope that answered your question, Emma. But
so what,
yeah, I'm
very good question, Emily.
Go on.
What's like, say when you're competing, what's like a typical day for you? Like do you say you've got a match in the evening, like what time do you wake up, like what do you have for breakfast, like you have caffeine like before, so does that mean you can't, like what's a typical day like?
it does vary. Obviously, with hockey, the match times does change throughout a tournament. So if we have a game in the evening, we tend to wake up at about 8, 9ish, and then we'll have maybe a meeting in the morning, and then you have your lunch, and then it's very clear who needs the pre-game nap, and you will know not to knock on their door, not to go anywhere near their room to get a bit of shut eye before a game. I quite like to have a bit of a nap before a game, but it's all quite it's quite, you know, I try and switch off as best I can, especially in that afternoon. But yeah, if we have a game in the evening, it's after the match that I struggle with the most.
Oh, do you?
Yeah. What's that? Sorry.
Do you get nervous?
100%. Yeah, I get nervous, but similar to what you said earlier, in terms of I try and switch that and change it into like positive energy. So I'll usually have headphones in before we get to the ground, but actually when we get to the ground, I'll try and like chat away to people, or, you know, be upbeat. But yeah, it's part and parcel of the sport, isn't it, really? The nerves, and it's, as you said, like how you deal with it. And yeah, I suppose you've been able to deal with that very, very well throughout your career. So I'm going to be taking a few of your tips, don't you worry.
Do you have like anything specific that you eat or drink before a match?
I always like to have a big bowl of porridge for breakfast. A peanut butter and banana bagel is a big
oh my
favorite.
God.
Is it yours?
Well, I don't have it before a race, but as a snack, that's one of the best snacks ever. Literally, oh my God, so good.
It's one of the GB women's hockey squad's go-to meals before a game. So we usually have a lunch and then a kind of late lunch. So the last meal before our match will always be peanut butter and banana bagel. It does the trick.
Good. Oh my God. Have you tried peanut butter and apple?
Oh, game changing.
Oh, it's so nice, hey?
Mate,
oh,
peanut butter
like life. Oh, I love peanut butter.
Yeah, me both. I was having this discussion. My mum honestly thinks that I live off of peanut butter, and I was having this discussion with Kerry-Ann Payne last week, and she completely agrees with us. So we're in good company, obviously.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm very aware. I do apologise that I could talk to you for absolute years and listen to you, honestly. I mean, my cup of tea is pretty much empty, and it's 30 minutes up. So I've got one more thing to ask of you, if that's all right.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to give you the power to decide what my first question for my guest on Monday's episode is going to be. Okay, so make it a good one, no pressure.
Okay, so for me, my question my question out there is, what's one of the things that you dislike about your sport?
Oh, that is a good question.
Because one always says, oh, what's like the thing you love, like, but sometimes it's not all good, you know what I mean? Like, for me, like, early mornings are hard, like having wet hair, you know, not caring about what you look like it's like swimming you're getting like wet all the time. Do you know what I mean? So
I honestly take my hat off to every swimmer in the whole world. Those early morning get-ups, I don't know how you do it. I honestly don't know how you do it.
I don't know how I'm gonna do it when I get back. Like, I've been setting my alarm for 7 in the morning, like, and to get up and do a workout. And like normally, like when I'm training, I'm setting my alarm for like 4:30. I'm like, how do I do it? Like, one of the things I'm not looking forward to when I get back is like the 4:30. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's why I don't want to go back. Well, I do want to go back, but you know what I mean. Like, the more.
That's not going to be pretty in the slightest. I feel like you need to drip feed yourself back into it slowly but surely. But 4:30.
Yeah, like, ease myself.
Bless you. But I mean, yeah, very good question. I look forward to asking my guest on Monday's episode The guest will actually be revealed on Sunday at 5 p.m, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But in the meantime, Ellie Simmonds, thank you so much for joining me. Honestly, I could talk to you for hours and listen to you. Honestly, you are an incredible inspiration to so many. So thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you. No, it's been lovely. Thank you for having me on and chat on this. What day is it? What Wednesday evening? Wednesday evening. Yeah, I'm like, what day is it? Wednesday.
Girl, it's a Thursday.
Oh, is it Thursday? Oh my god. It's Thursday.
I don't know. But honestly, whether it's a Wednesday or a Thursday, I've really appreciated your company. You are sublime, honestly. But yeah, in the meantime, thank you so much for joining me. Everyone else, please keep that kettle boiled, keep nattering using hashtag Cuppa and Natter, and I'll see you on Monday, same time, same place. Ellie Simmonds, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Bye. Bye.
Look after yourself.